Hello there, and welcome to the Arsine Film Podcast, where we talk film, TV, games, and all that jazz that there's no tomorrow. This week, we are talking about Eternals, Marvel's latest film. My name is Tom, and as always, I'm joined with my co-host John.
Hey, we're
And
just
John,
going to be
John, we're not alone, are we? Oh,
No, we're not alone. No,
not
I was
alone.
about to say we are eternally going to talk about Eternals.
Well, I'm really happy that I stopped you there, but then you did it anyway. So good.
He
fun.
stole my joke.
Sorry.
Oh no, we are indeed joined once again by HegDogFilms, Joe himself, who we've had on a couple times before, but he's back.
I'm here.
You have
What was
10
the last
seconds.
Oh,
Last time was
Suicide
Suicide Squad. Yeah.
Last time was Suicide Squad. Yeah.
oh.
What was
Joe,
before that?
you have 10 seconds to do a joke better than John's eternally joke.
What do you call an Italian American ghost?
Oh,
Oh God.
I'm gonna regret this.
A gabagool.
Oh no. Oh no. This is a mistake, John.
No.
This is a mistake. We need to
Okay,
get
let's,
Joe out of
um,
here
let's
right now.
Swiftly.
You've got to pay for that one.
Oh
Yeah.
Jesus. Right, let's just get straight into it. Eternals.
Right,
Let's talk
Eternals.
about it. We'll start off with just Joe as the guest, so you can start. Just what are your thoughts? Your opening thoughts.
Right. Well, I was put on blast last week without me even being here by John, saying it was been going on about how I found it terrible. Let's just say there are some parts that I do really like.
Yes.
And that's it.
Like
That's
this-
your whole.
Some
of it I like.
There are some parts that I don't.
Oh yeah, some parts.
Good
That's
night.
me done.
Good night, tri-state area.
Right. The best parts, in my opinion, when it dives into the ethical and moral dilemmas and different views that the characters have. My favorite scenes when Druig stops the fighting, and when the Eternals break up.
Spoilers, by the way.
In the woods.
Spoilers, by the way.
spoilers.
We didn't say up top, but you know.
Oh, we forgot about that.
Yes, Blade is in it, and that is the coolest thing ever.
That is one of my favorite parts of the whole.
I know, right?
Thing.
So good.
Like, the second I heard Mustafa Ali's voice, I was like, "Oh my god!
Oh my god, Blade.
Daddy."
So, John, did you not notice when Blade was in it?
No.
At the end, in the end credit scene, when Dane's about to touch the sword and somebody says, "I would not do that if I were you," that's Blade, Mahershala Ali, Blade.
Oh no way.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
John.
that's so cool.
I mean, that is the
hyped
coolest
for the
thing.
Blade film
Like
now.
that is exactly what post-credit scenes should be. I think both the post-credit scenes are great, but let's talk about the film itself and not like getting
Okay.
post-credit scenes this early. John, what do you think?
Okay, so my opening thoughts to this film was it was all right. I mean, like Joe's just like at the sides, like didn't really like it, and then you, Tom, at this other side is just like you, just like saying, "Oh, it's a great film." Me, I'm just in the middle, just like, yeah, it was all right. Yeah, I mean, there was some great parts that I liked, but throughout this film, it was a bit messy with, especially with the characters.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my opening thoughts. Tom, what about you?
Well, I think, you know, we just before we started recording, me and Joe said that we both watched it twice. Or Joe, you watched it 1.5 times because you fell asleep.
1.5 times.
I think definitely like the first time. So like, I was very positive about it last week, and I was saying how amazing it is, and I definitely think that it kind of means more to me on like a personal level than it does like quality wise. I think that's kind of worth saying. Like, I really understand all the critiques, and I don't think they're quite as bad. But I think the fact this film is going for something so different to any other MCU film means a lot to me. And a lot of the stuff that it does, and what we'll talk about it, is like really like, has like the emotional resonance to it. But as overwhelmingly positive I am about it, I feel like second time round watching it, I was much more like, okay, I think I've been a bit too positive, and I understand where people are coming from. So let's just kind of jump straight in. I think like, I don't want to start with a negative, but I think the biggest problem is with the film is that it tries to do so much. And even though it is 2 hours, 30 minutes, not including like credits, it doesn't have time for everything,
No. Yeah. It's just like so many things at once. Yeah, yeah.
My very least favorite part of the whole film is, when they all discover Icarus is a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
there are two characters who approach joining him very differently. It is handled very well with Kingo, but absolutely
Right.
terribly with Sprite. I hate the way Sprite does it. I like that with Kingo, it's more of a moral thing, and like he understands that his whole life is he comes down, he protects people so that more life can flourish throughout the universe. But he also knows that he's got a connection to his friends and his family, so he won't fight them and he won't hurt them just so someone else's goal can be achieved. And then Sprite is just like, I'm just in love with Richard Madden, so I'm just gonna go and fight and stab people.
By that logic, we should all be joining Icarus, you know.
I mean,
but I understand what you're saying. I think that there's more to it than that for Sprite. I think the problem is that they then elaborate on it later. But later on, I think there's a really, really powerful speech where she says, like, I hate this world because I hate how it showed me things that I never knew I wanted, what it feels like to grow up and to fall in love. And I think it was just so powerful because, like that character, from like her very first scene in like the modern day, you see that she's like wanting to be, just a regular person, like going on a date and interacting with people, but she can't, like, because she's not taken seriously as a kid. And I think that when she initially leaves, it's just because she's in love with him. And I think that is a much weaker character trait than her whole moral dilemma of, how she looks and how she wants to be and how she wants to feel.
It does feel like, okay.
Oh, sorry. I was about to say that again with the characters, I just didn't feel that emotional a connection with the other characters, especially with I forgot their names, but it's Angelina Jolie's and
Athena.
Athena and the guy who has powerful punches. I forgot his name.
Gilgamesh.
Sorry, what?
Gilgamesh.
I don't think I'm going to say that right.
Literally all week I've just been like replaying all the names in my head, just like, okay, I need to know everyone. But I think the character relationships and the dynamics they have are the beating heart of the film. I think Chloe Zhao shines in her direction when there are small scenes between characters, and I don't think that those scenes always, are given the relevant time to shine. They're not as front and center as I think they should be. But I also think that when those moments are happening, like when they're acting like a family, and whether it be them joking around or having like, dramatic moments with each other, I think that's where the film is at its very, very best.
Oh, and another thing is that the whole film was very jarring, especially like going back with like the flashbacks, like going back and forth. That was a bit overwhelming for me. Just like we're going back towards what the Eternals did at the beginning of civilization, and then going back to the present day. That was a bit like Deadpool. Problems. That was the only problem with the film. I just couldn't really get along.
I didn't like the constant flashes between times, because I thought that it killed some of the momentum and slowed down a 2 hour and 40-minute film. And I mean, I think we all know how important pacing is to a long film. And I mean that it just made it feel completely drawn out and a bit of a chore to watch at some point.
Yeah,
it's interesting you bring up the pace, because I would argue that the film is very well paced, but I don't feel the runtime at all. But I don't think that it's well structured, and I think there is a difference between that. Like, for the second time I watched it, like by the third time there was a flashback, that's like half an hour into the film, and like the flashbacks definitely become less frequent, and there's only like a couple more in the narrative. But I think that the problem isn't the pacing, because for me, both times I didn't feel the runtime at all. But I think that the structure of it, you know, whether they did it chronologically. So, you know, it starts with them arriving and then you see like them kind of breaking down. I don't know how they would do that, but whether they do it like that or whether they just make they spread out the flashbacks a little bit more to make it kind of more balanced. I think the structure is more, you know, what's wrong with that aspect than the pace, because, you know, I think like, you know, there isn't like too much, it's like maybe like 4 main action sequences, and they don't really, you know, in some Marvel films, just when it's beginning to slow down and explore the characters, it goes straight back into an action. I mean, Black Widow was the worst for that. It would just go from action set piece to action set piece to action set piece. And I'm trying to, you know, like create like a tangible connection to the characters. But with Eternals, you know, it kept enough action in there that, you know, that moved the plot along and, you know, made it so it wasn't a complete slog, but it focused, you know, solely on character. And I think that, you know, made it a lot more intriguing to me. And I think maybe that's why I didn't feel the pace, because I was so much more interested in the characters and the, you know, for me, the action scenes went on longer because I just had no interest in them.
Yeah. When it comes to the characters, I don't know. I don't think I like the way they were all weirdly introduced, because we get the shots at the beginning where they first come to Earth and when they first like meet each other and stuff, and then it's present day, and it's just a case of Cersei and Sprite meet up with Icarus, and then they decide they need to go and meet up with Ajax, who they find dead. So they think, now we go and meet up with Kingo, and then Gilgamesh and Athena, and then they go, now we have to go and meet up with Druig, and then Makara and Thastros. It's they used to keep stopping the film to go, now we need to go to this place and meet this person, like it's a kind of video game side quest to go and meet up with this person and get them on your team, so you can have a bigger squad at the end to fight the bad guy.
Yeah, that is something that like so far all the MCU films in Phase 4 have been doing exactly that. You know, Black Widow is like, you know, it's Natasha, and then she meets up with Yelena, and then they go and break out David Harbour, and then they meet Rachel Weisz. I don't remember all the character names. And then like in Shang-Chi, it's similar. Like, you know, they like Shang is like rattled, then goes to find his sister, and then they go to like the dad, and then they go to like the auntie, and it's like it's done in different ways. But I think it boils back to the fact that, you know, in those films you might have like a couple of things going, but in this film you've got 10 main characters, so there's a lot of like grounds to cover. Even if Ajax is immediately film, even if Ajax is immediately killed, you know, it's like I feel like that just could have been handled a lot better. I'm not going to sit here and say I'd sit through a 3-hour 40-minute film. I would, but I don't think that's the solution, just to simply make it longer. I think maybe if you took out some of the characters, you know, like, but again, I think all the characters on their own are very good. I think there's a lot to like in a lot of the characters. I mean, if we kind of, what I kind of want to like talk about is like, or like, I want to know like your thoughts on like each of the characters kind of like individually, if we kind of like work through. So I'll kind of get the ball rolling, and just kind of think that I think Icarus is so incredibly interesting, because he's such a complex character, you know, who wants love but also understands his greater purpose. And as you said, Joe, I agree with you that when the film is considering its own philosophical kind of identity, it's at, you know, there it's at its best. You know, he understands this greater purpose, even though it costs, you know, it's at the cost of his family he holds dear. And, you know, I think that like him kind of spending the whole thing as like stoic and one note, you know, which seems kind of wooden, but then not showing any emotion later, you know, as it's twisted, and, you know, it becomes more like he's got this pain within him and he holds it, you know, in this antagonist role, you know, even though, you know, he has to like maybe would kill his family. I think that is so interesting. If it wasn't for that stupid CGI deviant, I think this film would be so much better with this antagonist. I think, you know, Icarus being like the sole antagonist is so clever.
I do not like Icarus in this film.
Okay.
I agree.
Like, at all. I think that Richard Madden is only really good as Icarus when he starts showing any symbolism of like fucking emotion. He seems so dull and like he doesn't want to be there throughout the whole movie. Like, I've watched some stuff with Richard Madden, including my dreams, and like he can be such a good performer. He's good in what I've seen of Bodyguard and what I've seen
He's a
of
good
Game of
performer in
Thrones.
your dreams, is he?
He's a great performer in my dreams, Tom. But he can be such a better actor than he was in this film. He was just so dull and one note, and that might have worked for you in making him more of a stoic character. But for me, it completely lost interest in him for me. And I didn't like him at all.
Yeah, that I have to agree, because there were some scenes that really didn't really make Icarus like shine out, and like some of the emotion didn't have. I mean, the last one, where the last scene where when Icarus was talking, well, I forgot the names already. I'm such a wait, I need to go to
When
YouTube.
he's talking to Cersei.
So Cersei, yeah, that was it. Cersei, sorry, my brain's just like, oh no, it's Gilgamesh. Nope, it's Athena. So when Icarus was about to take down Cersei, he held back, and that was like a pretty powerful moment for the character. But I just didn't, I wish there was more of that throughout the entire film for Icarus. It just didn't really balance it. I don't know. It's just like didn't really balance out for the character. And what Joe said, that there's like that Rich Madden was dull throughout the film. I can see that it just didn't really have that jump. It didn't really jump out to me as Icarus. I wish there was like a different approach to Icarus in this film. So yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but I feel like that that like lack of emotion is why, to me, I feel like his breakdown at the end was so incredibly emotional, because he's carrying all this weight and all this responsibility, and he himself knows that he's really got no choice. He can't do, like, the fact that this film, the climax didn't end up with the villain, like the hero defeating the villain, like in the way that, like, to think of like Shang-Chi ended with him defeating the dragon. It didn't end with that. It ended with just Icarus just remembering all the love he's had throughout his life, and just knowing that he can't do what he's doing, even to the fact where he'll help them out to the point where he hates himself for it, and literally just flies into the sun at the end. And the fact that it's Icarus flying too close to the sun, I think that poetry is just maybe a little bit heavy-handed, but I thought that was a really nice like way to kill him off, given that his name's literally Icarus. But yeah, I feel like that was intentional, that lack of emotion.
That's fair. But like what you said about the villains, that like there are 4 villains by the end.
4?
And I don't think, I mean, really, yeah, there are 4 antagonists at the end.
All right.
Yes.
Who are we saying?
There's fucking Pennywise the dancing deviant.
Yes.
You got Icarus and Sprite who are fighting them, and then you got
the deviant.
Arishem, is he called?
I wouldn't call. I mean, okay. I think Arishem's only a villain to the point of Thanos is a villain in Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think it's fair to call him an antagonist at all. It's just kind of like his grand design. That I don't think it's important for the film to try and stop him. I think the ending of the film is weird. Like Shang-Chi, they don't just end it where the narrative ends. They decide to have like a post-credit scene before the post-credits where they kind of get whisked away by Arishem. Whatever, that was weird. But yeah, I don't really think that's fair. But I understand the other 3, even though I wouldn't call Sprite. Really, I wouldn't argue that she is, as I said, she kind of, it's interesting how she hates how she sees the beauty and the love for humans, and even the love for Icarus that she can never be for numerous reasons. I think the fact that she helps him isn't really because she's villainous, but more because she can't, she can no longer face the world. I don't think she becomes an antagonist in the same way that Icarus does.
That's
interesting. One character.
Go on.
Oh, sorry. The one character that I really liked throughout the film was Makari. That I thought that she was like the heart of the film. I wish there was like more scenes with her. especially as a deaf person, I thought that she was like, again, like the heart of the film, and she was like a speedster. So yeah, like that was like, Quicksilver, and again, Tom, you're a Flash fan, and with the Flash as well. But, the Quicksilver thing, like we could see more slow motion scenes, but like Makari.
They don't go for that whole kind of Quicksilver time in a bottle scenes, like they're so like, instead of like doing like, and I don't get me wrong, I love Time in the Bottle. I think Quicksilver in the X-Men films is awesome, the Flash and Justice League, blah 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 blah. But I think that like the way that they've done this like kinetic style of running, like almost like Dash in The Incredibles, I think they really do that well. And people, like you say, John, people have criticized Makari for not being in the film that much, and I think she isn't in it enough. But I think this is the case of quite a few characters. You understand everything you need to know about Makari from what we do see. She's kind of like the most like upbeat and light-hearted of all the Eternals. Almost like a kind of Barry Allen-esque, character. To the Justice League, that kind of thing. And as you say, like it's another example. Like I think this cast, I don't think any of us can deny the representation they go for is incredible. Not only do we have, a deaf hero who is signing throughout the whole film. We've got loads of examples, and I'll talk about later, particularly with Fastos. I mean, that gay kiss made me nearly cry. It was beautiful. But like, and just having them as like this part of the team, like Makari in relationship with Druig, I thought was amazing. Like it may or may not be romantic, but they just have this kind of love for each other, and there's just so much of it that I think, for her, I would like to see more of her. And the fact she kind of comes in at the end was a little bit disappointing. But I think what they did do with her was really, really well utilized.
Yeah, I like that. Especially like the movement of the character. With the kinetic style to it. Yeah, if I think about it, yeah, that's really fitting to her. I think that's like the unique thing about the character. I think because it's something different about it. I wish I wish there was just more scenes with her. Yeah, that's it.
Release the Zhao cut is what I say. I believe that Chloe Zhao has like a longer cut of this film, and obviously Marvel. I don't think Marvel will ever do an extended cut. But if there was ever, unless you don't want to talk about Endgame, if there was ever a film that I think would have benefited from more stuff, I think it's this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The only thing that the other thing that I criticized about the film was that some of the jokes didn't really land for me. Like when this is a sad day for me forgetting names. Oh no.
Kingo, maybe.
Yes.
Kingo, or maybe his valet. Karan.
Wait, let me just. It's Kingo. He's not even the cast. Is he? Is he on the cast list? I'm just looking at the cast list. Yeah, Kingo. Yeah, Kingo.
Yeah.
And like he was talking to the camera. That didn't really stick with me. I just thought that was a bit too weird. I don't know how to describe it. It was just it wasn't the right thing to do. Throughout the film, I thought it was a bit jarring. Just like, oh, he was talking to the camera. I mean, it just adds to the unique side to the character. As this flamboyant side. He's like a famous actor in India. Is it India?
Yeah, it's in Bollywood. Yeah. I really enjoyed that dance sequence.
Oh yeah, the dance sequence.
I thought that I think the concept of his character is good, and I am like extremely critical of MCU comedy, but I think what I'm liking about where Phase 4 is going now, I agree that like the comedy, like it's pretty bad. Like every time they reference the Avengers, especially if it was in a joke, I'm just like crying. I'm just like, stop, please. But I think what is getting better about it is just in Phase 4 as a whole, is that even though like the side characters similar to Kingo and Karun, and they are like they are annoying at times, but they have an emotional center and consistent character traits. Like even after going through like this whole ordeal with them, Kingo still at the end is like, guys, I still don't believe in this. And even now that the person who I respected most, Icarus, is on, isn't on our side. I can't do this, and I can't fight you. I don't want to. It's like you think back to phase one, or well, not even phase one. Think about something like WandaVision, where bloody Darcy was just making jokes the whole time and didn't have any emotional center. But here, the comic relief characters do have that emotional center. It's like Katie in Shang-Chi or Yelena in Black Widow. They may be funny at times, but they have, that core to them, which makes them feel like a more tangible character than just a quip machine.
Mm.
Joe, I feel like you've been a bit quiet over there.
I'll tell you who I didn't like.
Who didn't you like?
Oh, okay.
Ajax.
I
did not like Ajax.
Interesting. Tell me more.
Tell me why.
A couple reasons. We don't really see much of her character.
Yeah.
All we know is she's the healer of this BTEC League of Legends team, and she's like the mother of the group.
Yeah.
That's all we really get of her.
Mm-hmm.
The only times we see her in the modern day are when she's dead, and it's this kind of little subplot of who done it, like how's an Eternal died. We need to make sure other people don't die. The first trailer spoils that twist. It would have been better. I mean, yeah. In the trailer, you get the scene of Icarus and Ajax talking about the emergence. And then it's, you get halfway through the movie where everyone's talking about it and Icarus hasn't said a thing.
Oh my god.
And you think to yourself, oh well, when's this scene where Icarus and the dead character are going to talk about the emergence?
What? I'm really I've never been happier that I've forgotten a film's trailer. I literally totally forgot about that.
It annoyed me so much because I was sat there and I was like, no. But he did it. He's the bad guy. And now I'm just waiting for everyone else to figure it out.
Yeah,
it was like, that was boring.
Yeah, the marketing for this was like went over our heads because we didn't really think about like the plot twist until oh, didn't we know this from the trailer? So
yeah, that's interesting. I think the marketing of this wasn't I was not excited. Maybe that's why I enjoyed it so much. I wasn't excited for this film. People said it was bad. I was expecting it to be, and I think I was very pleasantly surprised. But I think with Ajax, again, similar to Makari, I feel like even if she's not in it much, I feel like what time they gave her was enough that I knew exactly, who she was and her relationship with the others and, what she cared about. And, waste of Salma Hayek. Yeah. But I think the way that, the relationships people have with, simple things like, Kingo is like that, he's like, oh, I'm a Bollywood star. And he's like, oh, look, my friend's like from culture here. And he's joking about. And then as soon as they say Ajax dead, you understand exactly, how much she meant to him, the way that he then, is so affected by that. And, even after she dies, you've got, Sprite, projecting the last time she saw them and, how she's kind of acting like a mother. I think that was very effective. And even Icarus, again, Icarus doesn't show any emotion to it. But then when we get that flashback and, he screams, I think that was so impactful. Again, showing how much truly is within him, beneath the surface. I think, even though she doesn't have too much screen time, I think what we do get is so I don't think I was ever questioning, some people have said oh, I don't feel like they truly were a family, but I really did feel that. I really felt that I felt that this film used show don't tell perfectly, very, very effectively.
I think the opposite. I think the three instances you've just mentioned are the only times we see any connection between any characters and Ajax.
Well, I mean,
it's
not
just a bunch
not
of...
to want to just mention them all, but you've also got like the Hiroshima scene, and the scenes like where Druig and Ajak like Ajak doesn't shout at him, but he shouts at her, and the scene with like the wedding.
Druig,
I think
I don't think Druig likes her that much, to be honest with you.
No, yeah, I agree.
I don't think quite a lot of the characters agree with her on a lot of the points, and I think that the only times we really do see her have an impact on any of them is when Icarus is shooting his eye beams into the sky crying, and Sprite is dancing with her. But that's the only times we really see her connection.
You don't think like when she's you don't think like when she's like comforting
I'm sad
or anything?
Not really, because that's more of a him thing. That's more of his scene of I don't like humanity anymore because of the horrors that they've done with my creations and the way I've helped them.
I can understand.
I thought it was a bit weird she was there. Really, I don't know why she was there, especially when they like split up as a group nearly 2,000 years ago, and then she randomly appears there with him. I thought she was a bit out of place.
I kind of read that as in like she would have known that he would be so distraught about it, and therefore she kind of stepped in to kind of bring some comfort. Well, I think, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I don't know. I guess just like those small scenes were enough for me, especially since like the film had so much to do. It could have just totally like neglected her. I feel like you feel the weight that her death has on all the characters throughout. It's not like again, I wish I had better examples, but like it's not like Black Widow dying in Endgame where they literally spend one scene mourning. I feel like her death really rattles the characters. Cersei, for example, feeling, constantly people like, well, you were chosen as leader. What do you think? And the whole time, she's kind of like feels a bit out of her depth and doesn't understand, her role in everything, which is kind of like furthered by, Ajak, therefore being so good at being the leader. And, she feels like that is something that she can't really replicate,
Yeah. I guess my complaint really is that as an audience, we don't have that much time to form an emotional connection with her. So we don't honestly we don't have
enough time for most of the things, do we?
No, there's not enough time focused on what should be focused on. And then time wasted.
Yeah, honestly, if I were to channel Nando V movies and say like if I could change this film at all, Pennywise, the whatever you called him, Pennywise the Deviant. Yeah. Literally, he
did not need to be there.
No, not at all. If you'd have had the Deviants there, right? They've come out the ice, they kill Ajak, they kill Gilgamesh, and then the final thing they do is Cersei turns one into a tree, furthering her character arc and the plot. Boom. That's all they need to be there for. After that, they do not have any relevance because by that point they found out about Ariston's lies and they just continue on with it. He doesn't need to be there. And when the second time I was watching it with my friend, and when the Deviant arrives on the beach, she's pointed and just went like, oh, "He's still here," and I'm like, "Yeah." Like, there's no point to him be here. He doesn't have like they could have. Even so, they could have really tried to do something interesting with him. They could have had him like genuinely critique the Celestials and the way that they're using everyone, but no, they don't do that, and it is really frustrating.
I think that Deviant is such a waste of Bill Skarsgård in the MCU.
Wait.
That Did you not know? Wait, no. I made a Pennywise the Dancing Deviant joke, and you didn't laugh because it wasn't. You didn't know that was Bill Skarsgård.
No.
That's Bill Skarsgård.
No, what?
Oh,
I hate that so much more now.
Yeah,
exactly. That's two Skarsgårds. That's two Skarsgårds they've now wasted in the MCU.
Wasted completely.
Oh my god, that's so horrible. Oh, I hate that so much. No, okay, I refuse. I downright refuse to believe that there wasn't more of him that's left on the cutting room floor. No way would you cast Bill Skarsgård in such an insignificant role. and then just not have like more about him. Like,
he's
dude,
in it for like I'm pretty sure the Joker has more screen time in the Snyder Cut than Bill Skarsgård's voice is in this movie.
you know what?
He says like 5
You're
things.
right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you know what? He probably does. Talk about Druig, because I think Druig might have been my favorite. Now, not only is it because he's played by the god that is Barry Keoghan, who maybe might be playing the Joker now, which is like the coolest thing ever. But I think he has like so much, kind of personality that makes him quite dislikable, which is an interesting turn because I think, to make an MCU protagonist dislikable isn't something that they really do in the MCU. I wouldn't argue not this effectively, but he's also so, empathetic, like the line where he talks about seeing humans tear each other apart for centuries and the toll that has on him. It kills me the way that, that is like really interesting direction. I think that his emotions were so done and so well done and so like genuine.
I genuinely think that he's the best actor and best character in this whole movie.
I think I agree.
I love him. I love him. That's
definitely.
Yeah, I love him. At first, I was like, "Oh, he seems like a bit of a childish dick." But then when you get the scenes of him talking about how he watches humans rip each other apart and he can stop it all in the blink of an eye, and how over centuries that's taken a mental toll on him, and he doesn't want to do that anymore. He wants to just live in peace and stop all the fighting. And it's just just so pure. I want to hug him. He's just the best.
Definitely. John, what do you think? John? Yeah, he's there.
Oh, sorry.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, what do you think about Druig?
Oh, Druid. Yeah, I thought there was like a good character arc throughout the film because he wanted to, stop humans like having conflict, but then he has to follow Amish's was it? Yeah, to carry on with the convergence. But he finally saw that with Makari. He thought what he was going to do, and he realized that he wanted to save everyone in the betterment of I don't know what I'm saying, in the future.
No, I get that. I think the way that this film leaves it off with Thena, Druig, and Makari going off to save other celestial Eternals is an interesting direction. I'm not sure I'm completely invested in a sequel purely because never really am, but like I think that idea is a very interesting one, and yeah, I think that his character really is interesting. And it's interesting, Joe, that you say that you kind of felt that he was childish at first, and then like you see more about him, and that, I feel like that is how I felt about Icarus. I kind of felt like, oh, he's so one note and bland, and then like when the curtain kind of peels back, you get me before maybe Icarus might have been a better character or maybe a bit more impactful for you guys if they'd have revealed his stake as a antagonist earlier, and then kind of like chosen to have like, have us then read the film from a different perspective more early on. Yeah,
I think what I love about Druig is we throughout the film we know his ethical standpoint and what his morals are. He knows that he can stop all of pain in an instant, but his family and his friends won't let him because of the orders of some higher power of which they know not. He's torn between completing his mission and just helping everyone, and his family won't let him help people, which he sees himself on that planet to do. So, and I think when they go to his little commune in the Amazon, and they're talking to him, he says to him, "I've just found out that my whole life is a suicide mission, in which I have to kill millions of people." I think that's a very good scene because we know that he wants people to be happy and to be safe, and then he's just found out that his only purpose in life is to literally kill billions of people. So it's broke him really.
Yeah, definitely. I think that he was one of the most effective. I mean, I really want to like. I hope we can all agree that this film is one of the most powerful in the MCU. I feel like when the film really goes for like emotions, it really, really sells it. Even characters who might not be, even you guys who are like, oh, I'm not a huge fan of Icarus or Sprite, like I feel like those characters have like really, really powerful moments. One of my favorite moments in the entire film, I think Thena and Gilgamesh, probably my two least favorites. I think that, they just don't really get enough to kind of do, and especially Tina with her whole mad weary thing being connected to that like main deviant and having her just in the final battle fighting apparently Alexander Skarsgård or Bill Skarsgård
Bill Skarsgård.
yeah, is like
Bill Skarsgård.
not the most kind of like good use of those characters, but I think Gilgamesh's like his funeral scene I thought was just amazing. The film takes a moment to fully let us drink in the impact of this. Again, they didn't do that in stuff like in stuff like Endgame for Black Widow, but they gave us like this full scene, this Viking funeral, where they talk about like, their kind of place on this world, and you have Karun who until this point it's just been a character who's kind of like there for jokes. I mean, he plays Raj in the David Walliams adaptations, but like like he's just like kind of like filming stuff and being comic relief, but he's there like like singing, and like it's a really powerful scene. Somebody who I'd feel like didn't really know Gilgamesh, but in that scene I felt like as much as they felt, and I think I think this film really, really is one of the most powerful films in the entire MCU. I think some of these moments are up there with Yondu's death in Guardians 2, which I think is the gold standard for like MCU emotions.
Oh, that makes me cry every time.
The Guardians.
Iron Man's death in Endgame could never.
No, you really couldn't.
Nope.
Not at all.
No.
That death in Guardians 2. But yeah, I feel like this film really has some power to it. I mean, what do you guys say to that? What do you say to that?
It does. It does. When it does it well, it does it really well. But for me, them moments of doing it really well are so few and far between that the rest of the film falls flat for me. And that's my main gripe with it. It doesn't have enough good moments, which makes the rest of the film feel really bad, because I'm bored a lot of the time watching it. I feel like a lot of the acting isn't that great. The film's too slow. I genuinely, with a passion, hate Sprite, and nothing will change that.
Not even her like
CGI not that good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I mean, I can
weird as fuck.
I can take or leave Deviants. Honestly, I didn't care for them, but I thought the CGI, apart from the main one CGI, I thought was good. I think it's pretty good all throughout the film. This film is beautiful as well. Like Zhao said, I'm gonna change the MCU up. I'm gonna film on location, and it looks amazing. It's the fact beautiful. The fact that she showed Kevin Feige some stuff and he was surprised. Like, come on, Kevin, you've been in the industry long enough to know how good like on set stuff looks like.
The sun at the beginning where we first get that shot. It looks like something just inspired by 2001 when the domo's going past it slowly, and I thought that was an epic shot.
Literally, I saw that on the first time watching it, I saw it, and I just thought to myself, "Oh my god, this is amazing." Maybe I was just blinded by the fact that this film actually like has more qualities of a real film than like regular MCU films, but like. Oh, just so much of it. I was just there, just like, oh my god, this is everything to me. This is everything I've ever wanted. It might have been perfect, but it didn't feel like an MCU film, and that I'm just like, no. I was there for that. But like as you said, the sun. What I love so much is that, and this is only noticed this in the second time, when the Marvel Studios logos roll, is when Cersei touches the boy. Like you get that shot of their hands touching. And I loved that the moment they touch is like a significant moment. Like the moment they're like fingers pressed together, like the Marvel Studios logo like hits. I think it's so like interesting, like almost if that is the moment that they kind of were captured by humanity, kind of like the moment that they saw the beauty in that. And then that again is mirrored when she touches Sprite's hand on the beach to give her that humanity. And
I thought that was whack as fuck.
Really?
I didn't like that. Yeah,
No?
I hated that.
Right, go on.
That was such a weird out of place thing of. So they've just come together. They've all defeated Tiamat, and that shot looks really cool, by the way, when its head's poking out the clouds with its hand.
Oh yeah,
But
that's great.
then we just suddenly go back to the beach, and Cersei turns around and she's like, "So I've just randomly got just enough power left that I won't explain how that even works, but I can just change you from a robot to an actual person like that. If you want to do that real quick." And then she just does it, and it's not even like we get a cool like effect. It's literally just you are now a human. And it was just so weird. I didn't like it.
You really have a thing against Sprite, don't you?
I don't like Sprite. That's the thing. I just don't like Sprite.
Next time, just 7-Up, all right? It's much better. That's a Sprite joke.
And the funny thing is that I thought, why would you name a character Sprite? But then when I looked up, I was like, oh, the meaning, it's like a fairy. Oh.
Yeah, that's it. It's like a pixie kind of thing, isn't it?
I thought they were just doing it for the Sprite. I thought one of the writers before was like, what's up with Sprite?
It's the best.
Sponsorship deal.
Even the colors of her outfit is like the colors of Sprite. I love it. Amazing.
Like the authors with, I don't know who wrote the Eternals. Like they thought, that Sprite can is really good. Yes, the Sprite.
One day Kevin knocked on and he was like, "Hey guys, I've just been the mouse has just come to see me." I imagine when Cersei and Ajax speak to Arishem. I imagine that's how Kevin Feige
speaking to Kevin.
Yeah, that's what it's like speaking to Mickey Mouse. Like that's what Kevin gets, and he's just like that, like giant. By the way, I loved that. Like the first time that Arishem was on screen,
I thought it was done so well.
I was just like, oh my god, they're doing it. They're doing us the Celestial, and they're not doing a giant cloud. Like I still haven't got over Rise of the Silver Surfer doing Galactus as a huge cloud. Like it was. Oh,
if they do that with Galactus, exactly how the Celestials,
that will be so.
That is going to be so good. I cannot wait for that. That is going to be great.
Honestly.
They've shown exactly how they should do it, but because it's Marvel, when they don't do it, I will be even angrier.
Yeah, right. Exactly. They've shown literally. Here's the thing. Like, I'm worried this film. Obviously, this film isn't doing too well financially or critically, but and I'm worried that means that they're just gonna double down on the formula. That is a huge worry of mine. Chloe Zhao could do so much good in the MCU, but I'm worried that they're now going to be like, no, we'll back to the people who we can control and just do films made in a tin can. But even the scene where they where Arishem reveals the identity of the Inhumans and all, when you see that full body shot of him.
Eternals, not Inhumans.
Yes.
Inhumans don't exist in the Marvel.
Yes, they do, Joe.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Yes,
we don't think about that anymore. We don't think about that incident, Tom.
Oh, I hope they bring it back. Marvel is so good at bringing back things that everyone never thought they would. I would love it if they brought back the Eternals. These are the funniest Inhumans. It'd be so funny. In that scene when we saw the full body shot of Arishem.
No Way Home.
Huh?
I can't wait for Ben Affleck in No Way Home as Daredevil.
Wait, is that happening?
Venom!
No, probably not.
You know what? Not. I like how that's a joke, but I'm literally at this point. I'm just like, wait, are they actually doing that? What? But when we saw that full body shot of Arishem during that scene, I was just there, just how do I see that and like it? I never like CGI in Marvel movies. I'm here and I'm just I'm applauding. But yeah, speaking of applauding, I need to talk about Fastos. We need to talk about him.
Yes.
So much that I love. Fastos. The tech dude. He makes the tech.
Oh, that was his name. I didn't get his name.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone in this movie, John?
Listen, right? I'm deaf. I tried to hear what he's trying to say. There could be saying some random stuff, especially at the beginning. I didn't hear what Cersei and Icarus were saying.
John, are you sure? John, are you sure you didn't just watch Boss Baby 2 Back in Business by accident? And you thought that it was the Eternals?
No. So I don't know why. I just couldn't get the characters' names in the head. But the only characters that I can think of is Cersei, Icarus, and Makari, and that's it.
Right.
That's my brain is that now.
Right. So
Athena.
yeah,
Athena, yeah,
Fastos.
of course. Fastos.
Yeah.
Fastos being the tech guy. Yeah. What do you guys think?
I love him. I think he's
Yeah.
great. He's
Yeah,
great
he's
for
great.
representation. But I think one of the main reasons I love him is because I've been watching Atlanta recently, and it's just so funny to me to watch Brian Tyree Henry go from a rapper, gangster, like drug dealer type character to Fastos from the Eternals.
By the way,
I
guys,
just
I
love
just
seeing
sent you
it.
something. This is what John saw for Eternals. I need to make a note of this. Put it on screen.
Oh, I
Sorry.
remember now. This was a turn. I'm kidding. Yeah.
It works as well. I hate how it works.
It works.
Oh, it
my
really
God.
works, man. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Continue talking
Sorry,
about
what were we
Fastos,
talking
Joe.
about? Oh, Eternals. Yes.
But yeah, I thought Fastos, like Drake, is such an empathetic character. A character you can sit there and feel very.
Joe, did you
sorry
just save
for.
that to camera roll?
Yeah, he's just
Yeah,
he's such a
yeah.
good character. That's all it really is.
I agree. I think he's amazing. Like in like the opening scenes, I was like, okay, so similar to you, I've seen Brian Tyree Henry in one thing. It was Godzilla v Kong. So I was not going into this thinking that he could do anything other than be annoying comic relief. So really, like when they did that Hiroshima scene, I was just shook. I thought that was an incredible scene. Yeah. You know, the way that they're dealing with like this like real world event in such a, you know, in such a appropriate way. You know, it reminded me of the opening of the Wolverine. Obviously it's not as cool, but like it really had those emotions. And you know, like I don't think they're just pinning, you know, the invention of the atomic bomb on him, but the idea that like that he has helped them advance to this point was, you know, amazing. You know, he has to be confronted with the fact that the technological advancements he's been wanting humans to have, you know, has resulted in this horrible event. I thought that was amazing. And the conflict that comes from that, you know, he's lost faith in humanity, but he then sees it in his family. He doesn't know whether, you know, is it worth it to, you know, like try and go against a celestial and, you know, or spend the last moments that he may have on this planet with, you know, his family. And as I said before, the kiss between Fastos and his husband was amazing. I almost cried. A gay kiss in a blockbuster like this, and it wasn't in the background. It was given the focus of the shot, presenting love between these two characters. I mean, what a step forward! I am like so proud. Second time I got to see this, my friends started clapping, and I was there like yeah, like honestly.
Isn't the film now banned in like a couple
Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, probably. That's ridiculous, but
good for Disney. Good for Disney. Yeah. Great. Good
right. It's like the amount of times Disney have been like, oh, it's the first openly gay character in a thing, and I'm like, yeah, you said that last time. Like, when are you actually gonna like commit? You know? And they did, and I'm so happy. I really am. That was amazing.
I'm about to send you something. By the way.
Oh no.
Do
I have to also put this on screen?
It's the most powerful, you know, thing from Fastos is that he created these. Well, did he create or did the humans create?
What, the atomic bomb?
Yeah. Well, I mean, no. I mean, like weapons, like throughout history, was it?
Yeah, I don't know. No, I think the idea is that he gave them some stuff. And... oh no.
That's how John sees the Eternals. That's the cast list for him.
Oh, Druid, where's Sprite there?
Yeah, Sprite doesn't get a place on my camera.
Wait, who else isn't here? Makari isn't here either, man.
In the background.
Oh, good. This is now a visual medium.
Oh my God! Scorsese can't even touch this.
No. Ridley Scott wishes. Oh man, that's beautiful. It really is. That really is. What time are we at? When do I have to put that in? Okay, 54 minutes in. Let's go. Brilliant. Yeah, what are we talking about?
Fastos. Yeah, you know, like
Fastos is the character.
You know, he was like really emotional about like the weapons like direct history and like humans are developing weapons like from the start of like they created fire, you know, they created an atomic bomb, the most powerful and a weapon that destroyed Hiroshima, and you know he was like so emotional, like I gave these humans, you know, tools, and then they made those tools into weapons, and it's pretty powerful. Like he was one of the Eternals that wanted to help humanity, but then that he saw that into violence, you know.
Yeah, I mean
everything.
Like the one of the reasons why I'm so, you know, like why I'm so in love with this film is that so much of this plot boils down to human emotions, and I have such an undying love for that. It's not about a big battle, you know, it's not about like a big CGI like fest. Like even when Marvel films these days will like do, you know, like a scene that is like, you know, emotional, it's not
now?
You know, it never. Oh, what's he done now, Joe? Joe,
no,
I don't.
Joe, wait,
I haven't seen it yet. Wait.
It just makes me chuckle.
No, Joe. It's
Joe,
Boss Baby
on,
2
man.
back in business.
Oh no!
You fool! You fool! Joe has just said we're interspersing the destruction of Hiroshima and the creation of the atomic bomb and the trauma that passed off fields of the Boss Baby 2 back in action. Fool that he is. Back in business.
Boo.
Oh
it was
God.
on at the cinema that we go to, the Cineworld near us. They put like on the side like huge like posters. For example, it's been like Fast and Furious and Bond. Currently, I think it's House of Gucci. But instead of having Eternals, they genuinely had Boss Baby on the side of the building. I'm just like the moment when MCU can't even come close to the Boss Baby's god tier level.
Boss Baby 2 has been out for a whole month at this point.
Really?
It's still in cinemas. Yeah.
Oh,
it gets more screenings than Dune some days.
June.
Right, I'm not going there today, Thomas. I'm not doing this.
Tune into our June video for more. But yeah, like it wasn't the end of this film. It wasn't, you know, like there was a battle, but the fact that it reminded me of Doc Ock and Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2, you know? Peter appeals to his humanity, and that was similar with Cersei and Icarus. And the moment where Icarus decides to join them, even against his better judgment, and sees his life and the love that he had, it was so beautiful. And I was so happy. It's like when I watched Shang-Chi and, you know, Shang fought Wenwu, I was in it. I loved CGI was crap, but I loved it. And then, like, you know, they had these incredible emotions, and he was talking to his dad, and I was like, this is it. This is what I wanted. And then they fight a big CGI dragon, and it wasn't nearly as impactful. But this, they went with those emotions as the final thing. And I was so happy, man. Honestly,
yeah.
Like just again, I sound like a broken record, but just how it does these things differently.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I loved it.
The way it differs from most Marvel movies is it focuses on human emotion, and that's what makes it good in its best parts.
Yeah,
and when
100%.
It does it well, it does it really well, and I think that's a testament to the film.
Even though the only human character is in it for like 2 seconds, bloody Dane.
I love Dane. I can't lie.
Yeah, can't go wrong with Dane. But I think it was a waste. I know that they want to do more with him, but it was a bit of a waste of Kit Harington. He was barely in it, and you know.
Well, yeah, they're gonna do more with him.
Yeah, of course.
With Blade.
Well, yeah, right. I want to ask now.
With Bill Skarsgård levels of fucking waste.
What are your thoughts now on the post-credit scene? So our first one, we get Harry Styles
by the way.
as Eros. Is it Eros or Aaron? I can't remember.
Eros.
Eros.
And my guy, Patton Oswalt, as Pip the Troll. I don't care about Eros, but the fact that Pip the Troll was there, oh my God. Like, I don't know if you guys have read anything of Pip the Troll, but I was just like, my God. Amazing. Yeah, what'd you guys think?
I didn't expect Harry Styles, to be honest.
It's a strange casting decision. I'm baffled.
As Eros, the brother of Thanos, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's gonna.
I don't.
You know.
I
It
don't
makes
know.
you wonder who's like the, you know, like based on like their parents, who's the ugly child? Is it like they had Thanos and like, oh, look at our beautiful purple baby, and then they're like, oh, what the hell is this? Like when they saw like Eros, it really makes you wonder what that dynamic
Oh,
was.
that reminds me of Megamind. I don't know why. Just thought of that.
You're destined for it. Never did catch that last part. But yeah, Joe, what are you thinking?
Know. I don't know how I think about Harry Styles as an actor. I've seen him in. I've now seen him in Eternals, Dunkirk.
Yeah.
And
he was in Dunkirk.
Yeah,
and that one episode of iCarly that he's in.
Wait, he was in iCarly for one episode.
Wait, are you telling me, Joe,
One Direction
you haven't
crossover with iCarly?
Have you? Wait. Sorry, I have to ask Joe. Does that mean you haven't seen One Direction? This Is Us.
It's on my watch list. It
Fake
really is.
fan.
But,
Fake fan.
I mean,
this whole time. Well, folks, HegDogFilms will never be collaborating with us ever again. God damn it. He lied to me. But yeah, it definitely is a weird casting. I thought he was good in Dunkirk though, so I can see what. But I don't think they're going for this because of his acting. I genuinely think they're just going for the star power, the popularity factor. But yeah, I don't know how I feel. I feel like this film should have ended like with Cersei reuniting with Dane, and then like the post-credit scenes should have been Arishem coming for them, and then like Pip and Eros showing up.
I much preferred the second one over the first one. I
wasn't too hot on the second one, but then when I found out that it was Blade, I was like, oh yeah, that's great.
I loved it.
Especially, we saw Blade at the cinema.
We did. We just went to see the first Blade at the cinema for the first time.
I was working.
Oh, mate.
I really wanted to go and watch it because it was at Odeon.
Oh, man.
But Blade, the first one with Wesley Snipes, is one of my favorite comic book movies of all time.
I thought it was cool.
So good.
I thought
it was good.
I can't wait for Blade to be in the MCU. So I was so excited when I heard
I'm not that interested. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think they're gonna go for it. I don't think it's gonna be as bloody as kind of horrific. I don't think they'll go for those like moments of utter like cheese, like when he catches I know I've said it on the pod before, when he catches the sunglasses, greatest moment in cinema. And they just wouldn't do that in the MCU. I really don't think they'd go for that,
Some motherfuckers just try and always skate uphill. That's all it is.
Exactly.
Well, I can't wait for Mahershala Ali to be on the big screen as Blade. I cannot wait.
It's going to be interesting to see how I can't say his name right.
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala
Ali. Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Mahershala Ali. I don't know how he's going to like take on the role of Blade, but it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to do that, because Wesley Snipes, he was like just like abusing everybody, just like punching throughout the film in Blade, and just like getting the sword and then slice someone in half and be like, what the? So
I mean, that is exactly what happens in Blade. Can I just say, in terms of like films being released, they are re-releasing The Matrix at the cinema in early December. So in case you guys didn't know about that, like that is happening, and they're also releasing Rocky for the new like director's cut of it. Just so you get the
best rocket. Yeah, I know that one.
They're making
the best rocket.
Stallone has made a director's cut which takes some stuff out and adds like 40 minutes extra stuff in.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know it was out soon though. I cannot wait.
I think it's screening like twice. I don't know if it might just be a Cineworld thing. I don't know if they're doing it for Odeon, but they're definitely doing it. I'm excited. I don't know if I'll see it. I think it comes at the wrong time. I might be in London at that time, but yeah, it's exciting stuff. Anywho, do we have anything else to say about Eternals?
I don't know. The soundtrack in this, that score, nothing really jumped out to me.
Yeah. First viewing, nothing did, but second time, I must say more did. And this is Ramin Djawadi, who did the Iron Man soundtrack and the Game of Thrones soundtrack. So, considering it's him, and I love the first Iron Man soundtrack, and I will never forgive the MCU for giving Iron Man a new theme in every bloody film. Stick with one. Fucking Jesus. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, I would have liked a bit more from him, but I did think second time round it hit more. It wasn't as good as the score for Shang-Chi, which I thought was a lot better.
Yeah. I think I've said everything I really need to say. My only thing left is I will give £10 to anyone who can tell me the character that Bill Skarsgård's voice is without googling it.
What they have a name?
Guy. Yeah, it's got a name.
Bullshit. They have a name.
It's got a name. It's 3 letters.
Do you
long.
know it?
That's
do you know
it? Yeah, because I googled it. That's the only. They don't say it in the film.
You say 3 letters.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Is it Vuk from X-Men Dark Phoenix? Is it Vuk from X-Men Dark Phoenix? Jessica Chastain's character, but fully CGI. God, that film was an embarrassment. I remember, Joe. Do you remember one time we were in college and I was trying to defend Dark Phoenix to you?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? I then rewatched Dark Phoenix.
It was so annoying because I was like, no, Tom, it's just bad. And you were like, no, but like this part's good. And I was like, no,
then
rewatched
it. I rewatched every single X-Men films apart from Origins, and it's real bad. Like, I'm so sorry. I really am.
Oh my god, Dark Phoenix. Oh my god, that was
in my opinion, a little bit off topic here, but like in terms of X-Men films, I think literally you need to watch the original trilogy, First Class, The Wolverine, Days of Future Past, and Logan. And I think that is like a really, really strong 7-part franchise. And just forsake everything else. Maybe not Deadpool, but it's not really like in that canon. But yeah, I think that's a really solid.
I've got such a big gripe with First Class that it's going to need its own fucking episode. I can't.
Is it Darwin?
Oh. It's Darwin! Oh, Tom, you got me going. You got me going, Tom. Oh,
oh no, Darwin.
Do we have anything for... Oh, we haven't finished the review of the film. So
before we get into Darwin.
Yeah, before we do that, let's finish what we're here to do.
All right, okay. Yeah, John, what are you giving out of 10?
A 6 out of 10.
Okay. Joe?
I'm gonna give it a 5.
Okay. Right. That's not as bad as I thought it would be, in honesty.
Maybe a 4.5, but a 5 okay. A push.
That does sound reasonable. Yes.
I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go 8. Now, I really could go 7. But I think what this and I think in fairness it should be a 6 or a 7. But I think what this film means to me, that it's everything I've wanted the MCU to be for so long. It gives me like some incredible moments of diversity and representation that furthers things, not just for the MCU, but for blockbusters in general. The fact that it is like a proper film. It feels like a proper film. It's not like, it doesn't feel like an MCU film. You know, Chloe Zhao is really going for something there. And yeah, like I think you guys are right. I think a 5, 6, or a 7 is probably more accurate. But I think this film, you know, has answered my call. And yeah. I know it's unfair. I know an 8 is unfair, but I really, really, really was enamored of this film. So yeah.
I know I put on my Snapchat story when I left the cinema after my first viewing, I said low tier Marvel, and I have to stick with that.
No, it's not.
I can't put it any higher than Thor: The Dark World, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Or
wait. Sorry. You're calling it a 5 and low tier. For me, the worst MCU film, which is Far From Home,
whoa,
my god!
Whoa, wait.
That is a 3. That is a 3.
Was the worst.
Black Widow.
Black Widow's
Thor: The Dark
World,
The Incredible Hulk, Ant-Man and the Wasp. They are all
Spider-Man Far From Home. Spider-Man Far From Home is dreadful. Mostly because of how it destroys Spider-Man as a character. At least there's other films like, you know, they fairly stick to what their characters are presenting. Far From Home, ooh, I have notes. Just wait. You guys just wait. When we cover the MCU Spider-Man films, I'm gonna rip him to shreds. I can't wait. No, I hated Far From Home so much, man. I rewatched it recently, and
you said last week that you said last week that you put Amazing Spider-Man 2 higher than the other ones that come after it.
Yes, I did.
I want whatever drugs you're on, buddy boy. Because Amazing Spider-Man 2 is so unbelievably bad. I felt ill when I was watching it, so I had to go to bed and watch it the rest of it 3 days
Here's
later.
a question. Do we get Joe on the pod to do the Spider-Man films?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe we'll bring you.
That would be interesting.
Maybe we'll bring you in for Far From Home, because honestly, I have a list of 27 points like here that, and I'm not even finished, and that's just for Far From Home. Like, oh, I hate it so much. Oh my god. Like, maybe I'm just tainted by High Top Films, but oh my god, pain, real pain. I hate it, man. I really do. Shall we roll on out? Let's go into intro. John, take us out, please, before this goes any further.
Oh no weekly viewing. Okay. So
no, we're trying to keep. We'll keep it a short one.
Oh, okay. So thank you for listening today for this whole mess of a episode of Eternals.
It started out quite well,
Baby,
and now we're all disagreeing about like just the MCU in general.
This has been an Eternals, Boss Baby 2, X-Men, Spider-Man podcast.
Just have Joe on every week. Just hope that it all gets just goes down a rabbit hole of insanity. Jesus. By the way, John, you've got 3 minutes 50 and counting.
Okay, thank you for listening. We enjoyed today talking about Eternals. Have we? Yes, we have. And
yeah, I definitely did enjoy it.
Yes. Wear your mask going to the cinema. That's important because we want to keep it open as much as possible. Wash your hands. We're just washing our hands usually every day now.
I had to eat when I went to see Spencer. I then went to see Eternals afterwards, and in between I had lunch and I bought pasta from Tesco's, and there wasn't a fork, so I had to eat it with my bare hands. And I swear to God, in Eternals they were orange. Just thought I'd throw it out.
Okay.
Yeah, just because you said washing hands, and I just remembered how much of a failure that moment was. Anyway, continue.
Oh well. Yes, wash your hands and social distance. As much as possible. I mean, unless you're double vaccinated. So, get your vaccinations. What are you doing? Why are you listening to this podcast? Are you still listening to this? What are you doing? You haven't booked it? Go, you stupid! Come on, go on, get your vaccination. And take what you're given. Oh, thank you, Joe, for coming today. Thank you, Joe, for coming today.
We gotta say like the video and subscribe.
Oh, subscribe.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Share with other people. And,
follow me on Twitter and Instagram.
And thank you, Joe, for coming today for HegDogFilms. You want to follow him on Instagram and Snapchat? It's on Snapchat. I don't know. Instagram,
Twitter.
Follow me on Instagram and Twitter.
It's in the link.
It's in the description. Go down there.
And you can also email us. Yeah.
You can email us. Tell us.
You.
Yeah, email us as well. Tell us what you thought about Eternals and anything that we've talked about. But I will only accept scathing reviews of Far From Home. Thank you very much. I'm kidding. Okay. I generally would like a reason to like that film. Is that it? Are we done?
Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Cool.
Okay.
I think I might edit out that pasta comment.
Okay.
No, keep it.
It was so. I just don't know what I was aiming for. I don't want you guys to laugh. I don't even know. Yeah, I think that's everything.
Okay.
All right.
Take what you're given.
Give nothing back. Yeah, give nothing back. Yeah, okay. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.